aviation captain performed a bold maneuver that successfully saved the lives of 96 passengers on his plane. However, in the end he found himself facing trial. The problem arose when 2 empty bottles of alcohol were found in the plane's trash can, and those bottles belonged to the captain. Once the alcohol content was detected, the captain could be held responsible for the deaths of 4 passengers and 2 crew members. However, the airline and his lawyer had a strategy in place. According to the investigation, the blood of a deceased flight attendant also tested positive for alcohol. If the captain could guarantee he stayed sober until the trial and insist that the bottles belonged to the flight attendant, he could maintain his hero status. The day before the trial, the lawyer and airline officials repeatedly stressed that the captain could not drink again. That night the captain found that the fridge in his room only contained drinks. Unsure whether it was guilt or his craving for alcohol, he spent the entire night awake bored. He walked into the next room and found it full of hard liquor. It turned out that the lawyer had moved all the alcohol from his room to the other one to prevent the captain from drinking. But the captain picked up a bottle, hesitated for a long time, and eventually put it down. However, the next day, when the lawyer and colleagues arrived, they found the room in disarray and the captain drunkenly passed out in the bathroom. Fortunately, the captain was awakened just in time before the trial. In court, everyone watched the footage of the flight and all were amazed by the captain's flying skills. After the incident, pilots from several airlines had tried to simulate the flight, and none were able to land safely. After investigation, it was confirmed that the crash was caused by an old screw, which caused the aircraft's elevator to malfunction and get stuck in the descent position, leading to the uncontrolled dive. At this point, investigators still had one question to resolve: whose bottles were those? Since the flight had canceled drink service, only the crew could have had access to the bottles. A blood test on 5 crew members showed that only one deceased flight attendant had alcohol in her system. When asked if he thought the flight attendant drank the 2 bottles of vodka, the captain hesitated to answer, because he knew the flight attendant had unbuckled her seatbelt to help a little boy who fell from his seat during the malfunction. If he lied and blamed her, he knew he could never forgive himself.
Trina Marquez did not drink the vodka, because I drank the vodka.
This statement caused a stir in the courtroom. Clearly, the captain couldn't overcome the guilt inside him. In court, he admitted that he was an alcoholic, and not just on the day of the flight, but even at that moment he was still drunk. In the end, the captain was sentenced to life imprisonment and would spend the rest of his life in prison. However, at least now he could sleep peacefully every night because he had finally let go of the burden in his heart.